The Tom Osborne Show has been sponsored in part by Rod Cush's Furniture and Pacific Realty.
Big game, certainly Colorado game was a big game. Kansas was a reasonably big game. And then we go over to play Iowa State, and of course they've got the momentum in a sense on their side, and that Jim Walden had stepped down. This was the final home game for their seniors, and obviously a game where they could turn their season around. And so I told the players this morning that we'd have to play 4 quarters. It'd be a very difficult ball game to win. And I thought that generally we responded well because in the 4th quarter we were the dominant team, and that was important.
Hosted by Kent Pavelka, voice of the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
The 20, the 15, the 10, the 5, touchdown! Touchdown, Tommy Frazier!
The Tom Osborne Show is sponsored in part by Rod Cush's Furniture and Pacific Realty.
Hi again, everybody, and welcome to the Tom Osborne Show. Tom, congratulations on your win at Iowa State, 28-12.
Thank you.
11-0 on the season, and you clinched at least a tie for the Big 8 championship, your 4th straight. But I guess the Orange Bowl's not in the bag yet. Theoretically, that's still up in the air.
I really don't know how that works, but whatever comes, we'll take it. We just hope we can play well down at Oklahoma here in a couple of weeks. We did certainly pass some milestones today. I think this was the 250th victory in 25 years, and very, very few programs have had a chance to do that, so we've had a lot of consistency. And we did clinch at least the tie for the Big 8 championship, so I think that was it was important. It was a hard-fought game, and I think our players responded well, particularly in the 4th quarter.
7 times in the history of this program that goes back a long ways. Teams have won 11 games 5 times under Tom Osborne. Coming up on tonight's show, we'll review all the highlights, of course, from the Iowa State game. At halftime, we'll feature All-American offensive lineman Zach Wiegert, and Huskers Tony Veland and Lawrence Phillips will join us later on. So stay with us. The Tom Osborne Show is coming up next.
Dave is psyched. He just bought this brand new car with a personal installment loan from First Tier. And not only did he get a competitive 8.49% APR, he's also flying to Hawaii. Free! Yep, right now with every personal loan, First Tier is giving away free airfare for 2 to one of 6 warm weather destinations. So come to First Tier before rates go up, because locking in now could leave you in a very desirable position.
Beef is definitely what's for dinner at the University of Nebraska football training table. Our athletes understand that beef is a great source of protein and iron that help them recover from hard bouts of training. Today, it's easier than ever to find a great variety of lean cuts of beef that everyone will enjoy at your dinner table. Beef, it's what's for dinner at the Nebraska football training table. And don't ever forget, there is no place like Nebraska.
Brought to you by the Big Red Cattle Club.
You haven't seen nothing till you've seen the enormous dinette selection at Rod Cush's Furniture. The values are wall to wall. When it comes to oak, nobody beats us. You'll take home this 5-piece oak dinette for only $2.99. It's always 6 months, same as cash. That makes it easy to pick up this gorgeous 7-piece oak dinette for only $5.99.
Rod Cush's Furniture, 72nd and L in Omaha, and now open in Lincoln at 27th and Superior. It's our best to you every day.
The Kitchen of Amigos brought you the popular crisp meat burrito, the crisp pinto burrito, and now they've stirred up a delicious new taste treat, the crisp chicken burrito. Blending the flavor of cream cheese with Amigos' tender grilled chicken and just a hint of mild chilies and green onion rolled in the crispy golden shell. The crisp chicken burrito, something new and delicious at Amigos.
Well, Coach alluded to it many times. This game is awfully cold in Ames, Iowa. They said it was 55 degrees, but always feels 20 degrees colder in Ames.
Well, there's always a wind, and it's kind of a wind tunnel. And I was talking to Jim Walden before the game, trying to talk over his future plans. And I mentioned to Jim that I really thought it was unfair that he not be allowed to coach that last game. And I don't think I have any say with the Big 8 conference, but certainly he'd have my vote to go ahead and coach next week. I think that's quite a severe penalty on a guy to to fine him $5,000 and then also not let him coach. And of course, in football, you only got 10 or 11 times out there. Basketball, you got 30. First play here, pretty good gain. You see here, Lawrence did slip a little bit. Lawrence Phillips, footing going to our right was not great. Another dive play, another good gain, and we get a first down on that play. 8 yards first play, 9 the second. You see a replay of that 9-yard gain, just straight ahead zone blocking.
As we said, Lawrence will be on the show. 183 yards, most of which came late in this game.
Yeah, we had to finally soften him up now, Brooke, on a bootleg, and this is a run-pass option, and he's able to pick up a 20-yard gain, and of course got up over that first down marker. Here we see a replay.
Did you want to run him as much as he ended up today? Well,
we didn't particularly want to, but we just did what we had to do. This was a tight enough ball game that we couldn't afford to sit on anything, but he did a nice job running there. Here's a trap play. Corey Schlesinger never did really break anything clean, but he got 4 yards there. They seem to play soft inside there. Now a screen play, a double screen, and a nice catch there by Reggie Ball and a good run. And unfortunately, we got a penalty on that play. We got a holding call and nullified the game.
Haven't had many of those this year.
No, we really haven't. And on this play here, Brooke does a nice job of hitting the eye back out in the flat. Lawrence Phillips was uncovered, and he made a few yards on the sideline there.
I don't think he motioned to no backs very much before today.
No, he just done it about 2 or 3 times this year. And so the first read is to see if anybody goes out there and covers him, and in that case they didn't. Now this was a 4th down play. We came up 4th down and 1 and just barely get the first down. You see great pursuit. You know, you can only play like this defensively maybe once or twice a year, and I figured they would do it today. I mean, they had that emotion and adrenaline going, and they were really flying around on defense. There's a shovel pass and a 27-yard gain. We tried it twice today. One time it didn't get much, and in this case, we hit him just right. We shifted our tight end and caught him a little bit under-shifted to that side.
Started this game well, 80-yard drive here, and a lot of clock.
Well, and the big thing is we had to overcome a couple penalties, so we really probably went about 95 yards on the drive. Now an off-tackle play with a fullback, and that was Schlesinger for a gain of 4. So we've gotten down pretty deep in their territory. Now another pitch play. You see Lawrence cutting back, makes a nice move, and a gain of 4 again, and that puts it right down near the goal line. Now we tried to automatic pass here.
Poor Matt.
Matt Shaw is having a terrible time there. He got knocked down, and he almost could have caught the ball just laying on his back. And so the next play, we go straight ahead with Lawrence Phillips, and Lawrence penetrates into the right close to the touchdown here. Here you see him going in.
Right.
Second, I guess that was a replay. And
right.
We did score. That was a 2nd down play. We had a first down at about the 2-yard line and scored fairly easily.
So you wouldn't have thought at this point that the game would be as competitive maybe as it ended up being.
I mean, I wasn't taking anything for granted. The good part was that we ate up about half of that quarter, and we were going into the wind. And of course, it was their choice really to take the wind. They won the toss to start the ball game. So we were enabled ourselves to maybe have that call backfire. There, Troy Dumas on a nice play on Dotson. And Todd Dotson is really a good player. And he's been hurt off and on this year, and I think that's really been a problem for them when he hasn't been able to play effectively.
Reminded me a little bit of a Jamel Holloway of years gone by.
He's very, very quick, and he's a good enough thrower to keep you honest, but he's a great runner. And so our defense held. Nice pursuit there, and here Lawrence gets a little bit of running room. You see him kind of tripping again on the sideline. We had to wear our wet weather shoes even though the field was dry. And here they stacked us up. This was a 3rd down play. And they slanted their line several times, and it seemed to bother us a little bit, particularly in the first half. And so we came up short there and had to punt the ball away.
Here's one of 6 sacks of the day.
Excellent job there. That's Eddie Stewart on a blitz. And we blitzed them quite a bit on long yardage downs, and that's dangerous to do against the wishbone, but we still thought we had a blitz that was fairly sound against the fullback, the quarterback, and the pitch, and then also had fairly good man-to-man coverage. So it worked for the most part.
Veland on the stop?
Nice job by Tony here. We were in man-to-man coverage, and they ran a little crossing pattern and didn't pick up much on the play, just a matter of 2 or 3 yards. Here you see a replay.
Tony's going to be on the show later, too.
Yeah, Tony has played very well this year. He's, I think, getting better all the time. That knee that he hurt over a year ago has been a problem for him, and he's trying to strengthen it, work on it all the time. I think he's getting a little bit of his old quickness back.
Well, you referred to the kicking game here. You've got the long field here.
Yeah,
off a poor punt.
Yeah, well, that was they were punting with the wind, and so we had our return people deep, and he hit the ball so poorly that we couldn't field it. And of course, they get a fortunate roll, and so we start out very deep now in our territory. Now, this was almost a big play. We did gain about 5 or 6 yards on that particular play, on a pitch play. A gain of 5, and so that pretty much takes us to the end of the quarter.
Huskers ahead 7-0 in the second quarter. Nebraska will add to its lead, but Iowa State will continue to battle. Those highlights in 2 minutes. So we open the second period with Nebraska pinned down deep in its own territory. You referred to the emotion that the Cyclones were playing with. They also seemed to be tough to block early in the ball game.
Well, they moved around a lot, and they slanted some, and that seemed to bother us a little bit up front. We just told our offensive linemen not to panic, not to start guessing, and sometimes when a lineman gets beat or misses a block, they can start compensating and they start doing things differently. Now here we're punting with the wind, and we got a low punt, and you really want hang time, of course, in that case. Now they called Johnny Vedral there for throwing the guy down, and so that was a 15-yard dead ball foul.
Winds up putting him in field goal position.
Yeah, and now option play here. You see there, Eric Stokes has to play the pitch. Now the fullback, and we really didn't let the fullback get going. And I think that when wishbone teams really hurt you is when they start smashing that fullback up in there. And I thought we did a great job with only 4 days preparation and preparing for the wishbone and pretty much stopping the running game. Excellent field goal, because that was a strong wind he was kicking into, and of course that wind really does things to the ball. Stewart has really been a great kicker for them over recent years. Now we get the ball, and
you got Clinton in there.
Clinton Childs picks up 8 yards on a dive play, and now an option play, and Brooke turned his ankle a little bit there. I was afraid he was going to have to leave the game. That was a 10-yard gain. And I think the options were there, just a matter of how much you wanted to run him.
Took a lot of hits. Is he all right?
Yeah, he's fine. I don't think there was any problem after the game was over. Actually, the x-rays showed up after 3 or 4 weeks that he did have a slight crack in his rib, and that's what caused that collapsed lung. You know, it wasn't something that just happened out of the blue. There, the pass was knocked down, and so we had to give it up.
Here's the
draw play here, and they do get a 7-yard gain. That was Guggenheim. And I think that was about as long a gain as he had on a single carry. Now Doxson takes off. This is where he's really dangerous, is scrambling. Gain of 7, first down. Kareem Moss made the play. This is a little scissors play. And we had a blitz coming there, and Eddie Stewart made a nice stop there. Loss of 4. You see a replay here.
One of those deals where they called the wrong play into the...
And Eddie had a nice day. He made a lot of plays, as did Terry Keneally. I think Terry had 11 or 12, and there you see how tough that wind is. And here they said that the ball hit one of our players, and so they ruled that this was Iowa State's football. I guess we'll have to take a look at it. You see that, and the one they said they hit was
Michael Booker.
Michael Booker, and Michael told me it didn't hit him. I'm not allowed to say whether it did or didn't. I'll let the people decide.
Take a look for yourselves. But again, the kicking game is, it's always big.
Well, it's really critical. And of course, rather than us getting a possession here with the wind at our backs, they get the ball now deep in our territory, down about the 14, 15-yard line. Nice job there by Christian Peter. And what we did with our pass rush today was we really just ran straight up the field with our defensive linemen and told them to control their defensive linemen and look for Doxson. We didn't try slips or swims or anything running around blocks, because you give Doxson some cracks and he's going to find it. Now again, Ty Stewart comes on, and that's a tough kick. Our defense did a great job because they didn't hardly give them an inch on that possession. Now you see the ball really hanging high, and nice job here returning the ball. Damon Benning, and gets us good field position out over the 40-yard line. So it was an excellent kickoff return out to the 47.
That's significant, too, because Iowa State was best in the country in kick coverage, allowing only 13 a game.
They spend a lot of time in their kicking game. They do a lot of gimmicks. I don't know how much time they do spend, but to do all the things they do in the kicking game would certainly take a lot of time. Now Brooke Behringer had the tight end open, but he just really didn't have time to look for him. Does a pretty good job of scrambling back to the line of scrimmage.
Here is Abdul with 2 great catches back to back.
It's an excellent catch by Abdul, and of course we're battling the clock right now, and so we're trying to conserve time, and this was a 3rd down play where we can convert it, and
well, this next one's pretty.
Game.
This is really pretty.
Now, this is a great play here by Abdul, and a nice throw. It's thrown just perfectly, and you can't find a better catch than that. The big thing there was that Brooke did a good job of compensating for that wind. The wind was at his back, and you see he laid it in pretty soft, and there's a natural tendency to overthrow that ball. So it was a great job there, and I think Abdul's got to contain himself a little bit here. I'll tell you, they'll flag you for anything anymore.
Completing those on play action when the DBs bite is one thing, but they really didn't. Right
no, that was just a great throw and a great pattern and a great catch. And so now Iowa State, I think that was Garris, Artis Garris for no gain as Christian Peter and Terry Keneally on the stop.
You're going to get a chance to score again before the end of the half.
Now Troy Davis, a 3-yard loss, and that was Christian Peter on the play, and Christian also very strong in there. Now we in a hurry-up offense here. And Behringer passes the ball, and this play action here.
Reggie had 3 catches today.
Yeah, that was a nice catch there into a zone coverage. Now we're in a shotgun formation, and a quick screen, and Lawrence Phillips gets a couple blocks and then wisely gets out of bounds. That was a 5-yard gain, and now we're trying to hit Reggie Ball deep, and Reggie was out of the end zone, and of course incomplete pass. And now we worked the clock down there and had just a few seconds left, and really one shot at it. So Darren Erstad comes in, 45-yard field goal attempt with the wind at his back, certainly well within his range, and the ball was just off to the right a little bit. So we came up short, and that ended the half, and we were ahead 14-6, but it was still a pretty tight ball game.
Could have been 17-6 easily. Coming up in our halftime report, we'll have a feature with Jeff Small on Husker tackle Zach Wiegert, one of the best ever at his position.
It's funny what a lot of pizza places call a pizza. Now this is what Valentino's calls a pizza. At Valentino's, we take great pride in creating perfect pizzas. We use absolutely the finest ingredients in making our award-winning pizza dough and sauces. So no matter what kind of pizza you order from Valentino's, you can count on it being perfectly delicious every time. Valentino's, you'll like what we do, and you'll love our pizza.
When it comes to cellular service, you need a wide receiver. You need Cellular One. Because with Cellular One's all-new digital super system, your callers simply dial your local Cellular One phone number. The call will then reach you automatically in over 2,000 cities across the country, which happens to be perfect for short passes across town and long bombs clear across America. Cellular One. No other cellular service comes close.
So call now. Globe quality cleaners for those hard to get out spots with free pickup and delivery.
Hi, I'm Pam Solich. Join me and my husband Frank on the 1995 University of Nebraska Football Coaches Cruise. 5 Husker coaches and their wives are hosting a 7-day Caribbean cruise. You and the Husker coaches will visit Key West, Grand Cayman Island, and Jamaica, all while aboard one of the most luxurious cruise lines. The cruise departs Lincoln or Omaha March 18th for 7 of the most wonderful days of your life. And the price is just $12.99 per person, including airfare. For more information and a free brochure, call 1-800-222-6327 or your local AAA office.
Nebraska football, as you well know, has a long and illustrious line of great offensive linemen, people like Dave Remington, Dean Steinkuhler, Will Shields, and others. Perhaps, however, one of the best ever, if not the best ever, is on this year's team. More from Jeff Small.
At 6'5", 300 pounds, Zach Wiegert is an imposing figure on the football field. But put that mass in motion, and Zach becomes even more imposing.
Yeah, definitely the counter sweep's my favorite play. You just get a chance to get out there in the open and have a chance for the crowd to be able to see you and see some of the things you can do. And usually you're confined to such a small area and people don't know what really goes on there. But when you get on those counter sweeps, you get a chance to get out and run and people can see your blocks and see what kind of difference you can make on the field.
Well, Zach Wiggert's done everything we've asked Zach to do, and I think the thing that separates him from some of the others that we've had around here is not only that he's a big and strong person, but he has tremendous mobility. And if I have missed somebody over the course of the years that I didn't evaluate the same way, it's my fault, but I just can't imagine that there's been one around that has the talent that Zach has.
As a 3-year starter at offensive tackle for the Huskers, Zach has certainly garnered plenty of attention and postseason honors. But this season, Wiegert has truly established himself as a great lineman through hard work and leadership.
Well, one thing he's done that's been impressive to me, that he's gotten better every week. He's improved every ball game, and Zach's attitude, his demeanor, has been a tremendous influence on the rest of our people. He is very focused as a football player, and I think that his approach to the game has been a tremendous influence on the rest of the people that he plays with, and they all look up to him because he just loves the game.
Growing up in Fremont, Nebraska, Zach has always dreamed of becoming a Husker, but his dream was not to play on the offensive line.
When I was younger, I always wanted to be a quarterback or running back or something. I don't think you'll find many kids that want to say they want to be a lineman, because it's not really true, I don't think. Most people, or most normal people, I think, really want to be the ball carriers or the guy catching the touchdown passes. So until even in high school, I mean, I wanted to run the ball and stuff, but I was always, bigger type, so I was playing defensive, offensive line, but now that I'm at Nebraska, I'm glad I'm an offensive lineman, because I think that position here has more tradition than any other position, and to be a great offensive lineman here is a big accomplishment.
And now Zach is one of the top candidates in the country for the Outland and Lombardi Awards.
When you're talking about performance of up front people, which the Outland and the Lombardi are, that is something that I think Zach would be at the top of anybody's list, simply because of what he himself has done as an offensive lineman, an up-front player. He does it by performance and not by hype. If you actually watch film on Zach Wiegert, you'd be hard-pressed to say that he isn't as good as we've had or that you've seen this year.
Well, like Steinkuhlers and Remingtons and those types were the great offensive linemen of the early '80s era, and so this is 10 years later, and people are putting me in the category with those guys and the kind of people that I looked up to as a younger kid. So to be in the same category with them is just a great accomplishment, and just to have your name mentioned in the same sentence with the guys like that is a great feat for me, I think.
Yes, Zach Wiegert certainly deserves to have his name included in the list of best offensive linemen ever to play at Nebraska. And in another month, don't be surprised if Zach has the awards to prove it. This is Jeff Schmall for The Tom Osborne Show.
Husker Vision presents the 1994 Nebraska football highlight video. Relive all the excitement and hear the players' reaction to this memorable season. This collector's item can be yours for only $19.95. Call 1-800-230-3831 to reserve your copy now, or ask your local retailer for this Husker Vision video. It's the perfect Christmas gift for all Husker fans. The 1994 Nebraska football highlight video will be available at Shopko and other fine stores beginning December 10th.
A new season, and with it a change to richer textures, deeper colors, and more sophisticated silhouettes. At Gary Michaels Clothiers in Lincoln and Hastings, one thing has not changed: our commitment to the finest classic clothing, expert professional tailoring, and an attitude of total service to our customers. We shop the world, selecting only what meets our uncompromising standards for quality and fashion, so you can rest assured that what you wear is unparalleled in appearance and luxury. Gary Michaels Clothiers, Nebraska's leader in fine apparel.
Do congressmen get to meet the president?
Yes, sure we do.
Do you like cauliflower?
No, not my favorite.
Mr. Davis, do you think Congress will appropriate more funds to acquire and develop land for national parks? Or is this current climate of cost-cutting likely to rule this out?
That's a pretty complex issue. On the one hand,
she always knows all that stuff.
Reading. It's more than just fun. It's how kids grow.
At Southwest Tire Company, making you first keeps us first. First in product, with the #1 tire for your car or light truck, Goodyear, including the new Eagle AquaTread. First in service, with factory-trained and ASE-certified technicians. First in value, we want your business and we're going to earn it. At Southwest Tire Company, it's right, or we'll make it right, guaranteed. Good people, good service, good tires, and Goodyear. Southwest Tire, 148th and West Center and 137th and Q. Mention this ad and get 30% off your Goodyear tires.
So we go into the third period, and by the end of the quarter time, it's a tight fit, 14-12. It started to feel kind of eerie to me, reminiscent of 2 years ago. Were you feeling?
Well, the crowd was really in the game, a lot of momentum on Iowa State's sideline. And of course, third quarter, we're going into the wind, and every exchange of punts probably was a differential of 15, 20 yards. Here, Brooke Behringer comes out, he hits Eric Alford, and I thought Eric was going to break that tackle, and he would have gone a little ways, and as it was, he only gained 3 or 4 yards. Now, a bootleg pass, and Brooke does a nice job here of scrambling, gets a couple of good blocks over here. You see Lawrence Phillips picking a guy off, and that helped him scramble for 8 yards and get a first down.
I think Brooke was your second leading rusher in this game.
Well, I think Brooke had 60, 70 yards, and he still was credited with some lost yardage in the ball game too, on a pitch that kind of went astray. So anyway, he picked up 8. We got a first down there, and now Lawrence Phillips is going to carry the ball and go off the right tackle here, and picked up 4. And as you can see, we, as the game went along, got a little bit better. Now here, nice job on the option. Probably needed to take the ball a little bit more to that defensive player. Did gain 4.
And now you lose it.
Now this time we throw the ball to Reggie Ball, and we had a penalty in there someplace, so we had a long ways to go for that first down, and picked up 19 yards on that play.
No backs again.
We went to no backs, delay Eric Alford, and then Brooke went to actually his third choice, which was Reggie Ball. Reggie did a good job there of lowering his head and picking up a couple extra yards and getting the first down.
Here's the interception.
Yeah, I got a little greedy here, threw the ball into the wind, and see Brooke has a guy coming in on him, and the ball kind of got away from him. It just wasn't a good pass, and of course I think the wind held it up. Eric Alford had a step, but he needed to throw it out more toward the sideline, and so we turned it over. And as I mentioned earlier, when you figure the ball on the punt that was supposedly hit our player, it really meant that we gave the ball up 3 times. Iowa State gave it none, and good coverage there. Nice job by Baron Miles. And you see they're airing it out. They're trying to take advantage of that wind. And most people are going to do most of their scoring, I think, in a game like this with that wind at your back. And so we knew we were going to get it in the fourth quarter. Now a quarterback draw.
You think that was pre-called? Or
yeah, that was a planned play there. You can usually tell because the line blocking is a little different, and Doxson took off very quickly. Here, now this is not a quarterback draw. This was just a scramble in that particular case. And At that time, he only got 1 yard, where he picked up 11 before that. Now, and a good job on the stop by Ellis.
Well, he's really playing well, isn't he?
Yeah, and then we had also a good play there on 3rd down to stop him as well. Now, Phillips gain of 5, and now they stunted their line, and that was bothering us some, and Schlesinger only gets 1. So we had a 3rd and 5. We get the wing back open.
We had a lot of knockdowns.
And yeah, we needed to stay after that defensive end, and instead we let him get off the block, and then he jumped up and knocked the ball down. So we had 2 or 3 passes knocked down during the course of the day.
They've got to come up with a big play on this series though to score for them.
Yeah, they pretty good job there of running by Doxson, and that was Moss and Harris on the stop. Now Doxson running the left end for a gain of 6, and Eddie Stewart and Phil Ellis, and they began to get some momentum here.
Came on a blitz.
Now this was a great play fake, and our offside guy there, Kareem Moss, had to play that, and that's really difficult when you show option action to come clear across the field and play that, man. We'd worked on it in practice, and it's a very dangerous play. So you got, that's a halfback coming out of the backfield, and the tight end blocked, and Kareem was just a step slow, and of course Kareem is a great player and has made a lot of big plays, but that was really the play they needed to kind of ignite the crowd and to get their confidence level. And now we actually we're short a guy here, so but we did it with 10 men.
Pretty early to go for 2, isn't it?
Well, I think they wanted to keep that momentum, and nice play there by 3 or 4 different players, Troy Dumas among them, and Doxson has stopped short of the goal line, and so we're ahead only 14-12 here. But still, they were, you know, they had that big play, but they were having trouble moving the ball with any consistency. Now, nice throw here. Mark Gilman was open, and Mark did a pretty good job of running here. We just wanted to make sure he hung onto the ball and didn't have it stripped away from him. But that was a big play there, and a gain of 48 yards down to the Iowa State 27. See him crossing the middle here, and they were gambling a little bit and crowding the line of scrimmage, and so we did get 2 or 3 big plays in the passing game.
Then you lose yardage on this.
Yeah, this was a horrendous play here. We went with an option, and the guy kind of shot upfield on Brook, and he tried to pitch it anyway, but when a guy goes upfield like that, he's just got to hang on to the ball. And so we lose a whole bunch. We lost 20 yards, and so that ended that drive right there. And so we kept shooting ourselves in the foot. And but we do, they fielded the ball on about their own 3 or 4 yard line, and we had good coverage, and so at least we got them pinned deep at this point.
Coming up in the 4th quarter, the Huskers take control of this game. Don't go away. We're coming up with the 4th quarter highlights next.
The Kitchen of Amigos brought you the popular crisp meat burrito, the crisp pinto burrito, and now they've stirred up a delicious new taste treat, the crisp chicken burrito. Blending the flavor of cream cheese with Amigos' tender grilled chicken and just a hint of mild chilies and green onion rolled in a crispy golden shell. The crisp chicken burrito, something new and delicious at Amigos.
You haven't seen nothing till you've seen the enormous dinette selection at Rod Cush's Furniture. The values are wall to wall. When it comes to oak, nobody beats us. You'll take home this 5-piece oak dinette for only $2.99. It's always 6 months, same as cash. That makes it easy to pick up this gorgeous 7-piece oak dinette for only $5.99.
Rod Cush's Furniture, 72nd and L in Omaha, and now open in Lincoln at 27th and Superior. It's our best to you every day.
When it comes to cellular service, you need a wide receiver. You need Cellular One. Because with Cellular One's all-new digital super system, your callers simply dial your local Cellular One phone number. The call will then reach you automatically in over 2,000 cities across the country, which happens to be perfect for short passes across town and long bombs clear across America. Cellular One. No other cellular service comes close.
So call now.
It's funny what a lot of pizza places call a buffet. Now this is what Valentino's calls a buffet. Valentino's lunch and dinner buffets have more than 60 homemade entrees and salad bar items, lasagna, spaghetti, and other pasta dishes, fresh salads, desserts, and, of course, our award-winning pizza. So stop by for lunch or dinner today. The only thing small about our buffet is the price. Valentino's. You'll like what we do, and you'll love our buffet.
So we go into the fourth quarter, Coach. I'm wondering what you thought the impact of that punt by Darren was. He pinned them, and you were able to hold them and then score off the short field, and they didn't seem to be in it after that.
Well, the big thing was they were pinned down, and then the quarter changed, so they're now going against the wind here. And if we can hold them down here, which we do, and nice play there by Phil Ellis. Doug Coleman hurt his ankle early in the ball game, so Phil had to go most of the way here. Normally we rotate those two guys, but that was a 2-yard loss, and so they're pinned pretty deep here. Now, a good job playing the pitch, and Kareem Moss came up on the tackle, and practically no gain. I guess it was a 2-yard gain on that play. So we've got good field position, and now Brooke on an option play does a nice job of running here, and see Brooke has pretty good speed and took a pretty good hit there on the sideline.
What do you call this particular option, Coach? What's the name?
Well, it's just an off-tackle option. It's one that we haven't run as much lately because the quarterback ends up with the ball about 75% of the time. Frazier, when he was going full steam, we ran that 7, 8, 9 times a game, and we probably haven't run it more than once a game here recently. Now they slanted their line, and Damon Benning hit the hole and does a nice job and goes in there untouched. We'll see it again here. You see the right tackle slant down.
ISO?
Yeah, isolation play, and Zach Wiegert pinned the tackle inside. The fullback read around, and Damon did a good job. We had a couple of those in the first half that we just didn't read very well, and actually lost a little bit of yardage on 1 3rd and 1. Now Doxson scrambles and hits the receiver there for a gain of 11.
Here's one of their bigger plays.
Yeah, this was one where we were in a blitz, and he just threw the ball out there deep, and they ruled that Iowa State held on to the ball. That's Horacek, and it was a nice throw and a good catch. But that was a 37-yard gain, and that was the big play of the game, along with that other pass. So they did hit a couple big passes on us. Now, we came with a blitz, and we came with that same blitz, actually, when they hit the long pass for 37 yards. But we sack them there on that play. And
replay there.
Eddie Stewart there on the replay, a loss of 3. I think we actually sacked him something like 6 times during the day.
Eddie had 2 of them.
Now, pretty good job here of running. Lawrence Phillips, gain of 11. We're going to see that play again. And actually, we had 2 consecutive sacks there, I think, on that last series, both by Eddie Stewart and also Harris on one.
So boy, you're really running it well now.
Well, the style of football we play takes some patience, and those big guys up front, sooner or later, most of the time, are going to take charge of the ball game for you, and they do here in the fourth quarter. And so we felt like things were starting to break here. Now here, Lawrence breaks loose.
Thought there was 6.
And he loses the ball. You see, it was just punched out. The guy punched it from behind. Ball goes into the end zone, and of course when they recover in the end zone, it comes out the 20-yard line. So this was a horrendous play for us, and so we had several bad things happen during the day. We actually had 475 yards of offense to about 225 for them, but we managed to keep them in the ball game, and so that was a tough turnover to take right at that point. That was a 61-yard run by Lawrence.
It goes over 100 on that. At least it changed the field. I mean,
well, yeah, they're down at the 20-yard line. Of course, it would have been nice if that ball hadn't gone on into the end zone. Now an option play, and they did get a little running room around the outside. Their option game, for the most part, didn't pick up a whole lot. That was Kareem Moss on the stop, and then we got a penalty on that play, which obviously I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I thought the guy was trying to hold the ball carrier up, but it's one of those judgment calls.
Another sack.
Now here's a good job, Dwayne Harris, another sack, and that was a loss of 11. on that play.
Getting 6 sacks against an offense like this is really something, isn't it?
Well, the thing about Iowa State, though, is they're not a pass-blocking team. You know, they run a lot of options, and so their pass blocking is probably a little suspect. The thing that we did was we took their option game away. Now we get another sack there, and that was Dante Jones. A nice job there by Dante. See a replay here, and of course also Doxson really slipped on the play. So the footing was a little bit treacherous for both teams at times. Now a draw play, and we just got killed on that draw play 2 years ago. But in this case, we did a good job of stopping them, and that was not for only a two-yard gain.
Zone play there.
So now we get it back, and you can see that some of those 3- and 4-yard gains earlier are now 8, 9, and 10. And Lawrence gained 9 on the first play, picks up 8 on this one, and now just a fullback dive, a short gain there at 4. And now we had a 3rd down and 6 here, and we run Brooke on an option, and Brooke is going to come up a little bit short. This was actually a 4th and 1, and we picked up 3 on that particular play. Now, a good job here on the zone play, and Lawrence Phillips breaks it all the way in, 21 yards for the touchdown, and that was a very well blocked play. And you see it here. See Wiegert on a good block, Schlesinger downfield on a good block, tight end did a nice job, right guard Brendan Stye blocked well, and we just caught him in a slant or something, and sometimes in the first half they guessed right, second half they guessed wrong a little bit more.
So now Iowa State with the ball.
And another good job of pressure. You know, those big guys up front did a nice job there. Keneally and Peter just holding their ground, and good pressure from the outside. We're going to get most of our pressure on the passer from our rush ends. In that case, it was Dwayne Harris who applied most of the pressure.
And they're out of character here. I mean, they're dropping back to throw. And
well, they have to throw, and they're throwing in the wind, but they do complete a pass or two here, which still kept things a little bit interesting. And now a good tackle by Kareem Moss, and that was a gain of 9. And now we're pretty much at the end of the ball game, and Todd Doxson is tackled by Christian Peter, and time ran out. So we get out of there with a 28-12 win, and there were some things that we did during the day. That's Matt Nitschke there. He played a real good game against us. He's from here in Lincoln, and
18 tackles.
A lot of Nebraska kids played well over there. Doxson had a nice ball game, and I think Michael Cooper from up at Omaha West Side played well. And you know, there was a time when we gave all those kids scholarships, but now with our scholarship numbers down, it's such a guessing game, and it just hurts you to see good players go somewhere else. But you got to make decisions, and sometimes you're right, sometimes you're wrong.
28-12, the final coming up. Lawrence Phillips joins us on the Tom Osborne Show, so don't go away.
How far would you go to get the best deal on a car or truck and receive a JVC TV or VCR? Kansas City, Des Moines, Denver? How about just a short 25-minute drive? This is Mike Mathis, and in the time it takes to drive across Omaha, you can zip up to Radigan Motor Center in Missouri Valley and join in the fun. People are finding out that we make deals the big city boys can only dream of. And this week, when you buy any vehicle, you're going home with a new JVC TV or VCR. With our huge selection, there's no easier way to buy a car or truck than stopping at Radigan Motor Center, Highway 30, Missouri Valley.
Better business equipment, certainly the one. We sell our sharp copiers with delight. Our faxes will make your day bright. When you tire of the same old routine, then come in and test our machines.
Have you ever wondered if Hooked on Phonics really works? So did Channel 3 consumer reporter Deborah Ward, who put Hooked on Phonics to the test with some pretty tough customers, their daycare teacher, and 2 local phonics experts. Will Hooked on Phonics give your child a $245 head start? You decide when Deborah Ward reports.
Do you know any words on that page?
The Channel 3 Hooked on Phonics consumer test, Tuesday following Scarlet on News Center 3. Now, as a service to Midland's family, News Center 3 at 5 is free of violent video.
Here at Channel 3, we're listening to your concerns about exposing children to violence.
That's why at 5 o'clock on Channel 3, you won't find any violent video.
We're still producing our newscast with all the important information that you need.
But with an eye toward your family.
Join us for the Midland's only family-centered news at 5 o'clock. A service to Midland's families from Channel 3.
Well, Tom and I are joined by Lawrence Phillips, who had 183 yards against the Iowa State University. You know, you're 18 yards away now from breaking the all-time sophomore Big 8 conference rushing record held by Thurman Thomas.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Now, I got to ask you were 9 years old when he did this. Did you even know who Thurman Thomas was then?
I don't think so. I don't think I knew about it until about 8th grade. He was.
Well, that's quite an achievement, Lawrence. I guess I didn't know you were that close either. So we hope you can scratch 18 yards out here in this last game. You'll be able to do it, don't you?
I hope so, too.
Yeah. Well, how'd things go today? There wasn't a whole lot of running room early in the game, was there?
I think they were doing a lot of slanting and a lot of little tricks and stuff, and they were playing games with the backers and stuff, and it was kind of confusing to a couple of people, and the footing was kind of bad. I kept slipping with my the shoes I had on, so I tried to, in the fourth quarter, get a new pair, and those seemed to work pretty good.
That helped better?
Even slipped once with those, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, but I think I kind of got on my heels, and that kind of caused me to slip.
Well, that turf is really worn down. I don't know how old it is. It must be around 10 years old or so, and so when it gets worn down like that, it really is slippery.
Seemed like a lot of it happened at about the same spot on the field.
It was mostly happening going to our right, and coming to our sideline. It was it was laying down that way, so you couldn't your cleats couldn't dig into the turf, and so it was like just sitting on top of it, and that's why I was slipping and stuff.
Well, you're from California, Lawrence, and I imagine Nebraska was quite a change for you. Is this something that's been difficult to adjust to going to school here in Lincoln, or how's it going?
I think we're going to get yes here.
Yeah.
A little bit in the beginning. Ran into a few problems and stuff, but I seem to settle down a little bit since I've been here, and I'm starting to fit in and whatnot in Nebraska.
What made that difference for you? You know, you've done your thing on the field, obviously, but off the field, too. What happened for you?
I guess just calming down. I guess I was kind of a city guy, real hyped up, like to get in a lot of stuff, and I just had to calm down and, you know, kind of mellow out, and that helped out a lot.
You obviously are, stats speak for themselves, one of the best running backs in the country, but I'm curious if you think that there's room for improvement and where in your game?
There's always room for improvement. The line is doing a great job blocking, and I think that I can make the reads a little quicker. I think that sometimes I kind of make the reads a little late and whatnot. I think I need to improve on that end. I think I also need to improve on getting yards after contact. I mean, there's been a couple of games where I've been doing a great job, but there's been a couple of games where I haven't either, so I think I need to improve there.
Well, we're all proud of you. Great job in your sophomore season here.
Thanks.
Good luck against Oklahoma in the
Thanks
bowl
a
game.
lot.
In 2 minutes, it's Tony Veland's turn to join Tom and me right here.
There's only one place for the widest selection in front-wheel drive minivans. From high performance to high performance. From the long of it to the short of it. From emerald green to light driftwood. From the value priced to the lap of luxury. From seats that glide to seats that unfold. From grocery bags to airbags. From bumper to bumper, door to sliding door. The one place for it all is our place. The Minivan Store at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
Bob and Bonnie may be creating the ultimate home improvement with a personal installment loan from First Tier. Not only are they getting a competitive 8.49% APR, they're also flying to the Bahamas, free. Yep, right now with every personal loan, First Tier is giving away free airfare for 2 to one of 6 warm weather destinations. So come to First Tier before rates go up, because locking in now could leave you in a very desirable position.
You haven't seen nothing till you've seen the enormous dinette selection at Rod Cush's Furniture. The values are wall to wall. When it comes to oak, nobody beats us. You'll take home this 5-piece oak dinette for only $2.99. It's always 6 months, same as cash. That makes it easy to pick up this gorgeous 7-piece oak dinette for only $5.99.
Rod Cush's Furniture, 72nd and L in Omaha, and now open in Lincoln at 27th and Superior. It's our best to you every day.
The kitchen kitchen of Amigos brought you the popular crisp meat burrito, the crisp pinto burrito, and now they've stirred up a delicious new taste treat, the crisp chicken burrito. Blending the flavor of cream cheese with Amigos' tender grilled chicken and just a hint of mild chilies and green onion rolled in the crispy golden shell. The crisp chicken burrito, something new and delicious at Amigos.
Well, Tony Veland joins Tom and me on the show right now. Tom, everybody knows that Tony's made the successful transition from offense to defense. Question is, are you liking it as much as you liked offense at one time?
I think I like it more. It's a little more fun to hit people than to be hit.
Tony took a lot of licks there. I don't know if we could even enumerate all the injuries. You had a broken collarbone, you had a knee injury, and what else?
Yeah, those are just the major ones. I think if we hit all of them, we won't get done with this show, so go on.
You, I'm told, ranked second in your graduating class at Benson High, right?
Yeah.
That's impressive. Aaron Graham told me on the bus ride on the way home that you tutored him in a chemistry class.
No, I didn't tutor him. I took the same class, and I did pretty well in it, and he did pretty well in it. We both kind of studied together, so.
Well, Tony's doing well. He's in engineering, right?
Yeah.
And what phase or branch of engineering are you in?
Well, I was in mechanical engineering, but now I'm into engineering and business. It's kind of interdisciplinary program where I can get a basic degree in both disciplines.
They're called industrial engineering, is that what it is?
It's an interdisciplinary program. It's just kind of like engineering and business together.
It just means you want to make a lot of money, is that right?
Kind of.
And why not?
Well, Tony will do well. And we've been, we kind of messed around with him at quarterback again this year, and I think it made him a little uncomfortable. But it is really hard, I think, to play both sides of the ball. And I don't think most fans realize it. If you take so much meeting time, so much practice time, and I imagine going back and forth was a little bit difficult for you, wasn't it? Even though it wasn't just a few plays.
Yeah, it was kind of a pain. I didn't know whether you stay in the quarterback or stay in the defensive back or what.
How do you feel you're coming now physically? I guess I really haven't had a chance to talk to you for a while, but I know that your knee was still bothering you. Do you feel like you're getting your speed back and your quickness coming back, or what?
I don't feel like I have all my speed back. I feel like I'm maybe about 85%, but the knee is getting a little bit better, and it's getting a little stronger with each practice. So.
You had a chance to play against, your best friend in high school, in Iowa State, Horacek?
Yeah, Mike Horacek.
Did you get to hit him?
No, I didn't get to hit him. He did come across the middle, so I didn't get to hit him.
Well, Tony's got some wheels, and we really hope he gets those legs healed up, because he was one of the finest running quarterbacks we've ever had.
I remember you saying that.
Great acceleration and great change of direction, and he's a big hitter as a safety. And I think if he can ever get that reaction time back, that he's going to be a great player. He is a good player right now, a very good player, but certainly can use all the speed you can get back there. I know that.
We mentioned second year graduating class, Benson High, with a chance to win the state championship this year.
Yeah, that's right. Doing something that we couldn't do when I was there, and we're real proud of them. I still feel like I'm still a bunny at heart, so it's a real, happy moment for me right now that they're there.
Congratulations on a great year, Tony.
Thank you.
Tom and I will be back right after this to close out tonight's show.
When it comes to cellular service, you need a wide receiver. You need Cellular One. Because with Cellular One's all-new digital super system, your callers simply dial your local Cellular One phone number. The call will then reach you automatically in over 2,000 cities across the country, which happens to be perfect for short passes across town and long bombs clear across America. Cellular One. No other cellular service comes close.
So call now.
When it comes to takeout, it's funny how a lot of pizza places define variety. Now this is how Valentino's defines variety. Valentino's takeout menu offers more than 60 homemade entrees and salad items. Everything from lasagna, spaghetti, and other pastas to fresh salads, desserts, and of course, our award-winning pizza. It's fresh, ready to go, and it's what we call variety. Valentino's, you'll like what we do, and you'll love our variety.
Dave is psyched. He just bought this brand new car with a personal installment loan from First Tier. And not only did he get a competitive 8.49% APR, he's also flying to Hawaii. Free! Yep, right now with every personal loan, First Tier is giving away free airfare for 2 to one of 6 warm weather destinations. So come to First Tier before rates go up, because locking in now could leave you in a very desirable position.
Beef is definitely what's for dinner at the University of Nebraska football training table. Our athletes understand that beef is a great source of protein and iron that help them recover from hard bouts of training. Today, it's easier than ever to find a great variety of lean cuts of beef that everyone will enjoy at your dinner table. Beef is what's for dinner at the Nebraska football training table. And don't ever forget, there is no place like Nebraska.
Brought to you by the Big Red Cattle Club.
Husker Vision presents the 1994 Nebraska football highlight video. Relive all the excitement and hear the players' reaction to this memorable season. This collector's item can be yours for only $19.95. Call 1-800-230-3831 to reserve your copy now, or ask your local retailer for this Husker Vision video. It's the perfect Christmas gift for all Husker fans. The 1994 Nebraska football highlight video will be available at Shopko and other fine stores beginning December 10th.
So, Coach, your Huskers 11-0 on the season. One more game to go. You've got an off week. How are you feeling about Oklahoma and then a bowl game?
I think the Oklahoma game will be much like this one. It'll be their last home game for their seniors, and it'll be an interesting ball game. We'll have to play very well. We beat them last year 21-7, but didn't play all that well.
Coach, congratulations. We'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Okay, thanks, Kent.
Huskers 28-12 over Iowa State. That's it for tonight's show. Along with the coach, I'm Kent Pavelka, inviting you to join us same time, same station in 2 weeks' time right here on the Tom Osborne Show. Until then, so long, everybody.